millimeters of movement, but here the settling exceeded that in multiple places. For a building this size, it's unacceptable.
Every building will settle to some degree, but here it was a lot more than expected, and there was no way to be sure it wouldn't get worse with time.
The exact reasons haven't been revealed, but it's possible the ground investigations didn't paint an accurate picture of the rubble beneath.
In this case, some boreholes might have been drilled in places that didn't give a true reflection of the ground around them.
Accurate data about the depth of the bedrock would be crucial.
What potentially may have happened is that because there was no data available between these boreholes, you could have got a very deep cavern within the former reservoir. And imagine you piling to this level, you've got a pile that is just hanging in poor soil. When these piles are loaded, it's just going to go down.
If placed too shallow in poor soil or over an undetected void, the piles simply wouldn't do their job.
Because the piles were not deep enough and were not built into the competent soil, they kind of gave way and caused excessive settlement, and the building was deemed to be not fit for purpose.
With lessons learned and more reliable foundations laid, by 2021 building was once again underway. But starting over had pushed completion back by more than a year.
The residents nearby were actually calling the contractors the neighbours from hell because of the noise, because of the dust. They just had enough.
Now when I walk past the building site, that excitement's gone. I'm never going to get to use it. The excitement's been replaced by loud noises and rubble and dust. And it's frustrating. It's just a constant reminder that we're never going to get to step foot inside this building.
Ultimately, this is a reminder that every project comes with its own unique problems. You just have to hope you don't miss any of them.
Paul won a house in one of Britain's most beautiful places.
You've won the barn house! That's insane!
It's fit for a couple of queens like us.
Nicola also won a house in a dream location.
We've been talking about downsizing, and now we've upsized.
And so did Darren.
Been living paycheck to paycheck, so this is a big change.
Now, this heritage house in Bath, worth over £4 million,
could be yours.
This is your very last chance to enter the Omaze £1 Million House Draw Bath, supporting English heritage. So enter today and you could win this house.
With all the furniture.
Plus £250,000 to help you settle in. But you must enter by midnight tonight at omaze.co.uk.
And soon you could be making a brand new start.
In a city with culture at its very heart.
Yes, you could be living mortgage-free in this stunning heritage property.
Or you could rent out or sell up and walk away a multi-millionaire.
One person is guaranteed to win.
But you must enter by midnight tonight at omaze.co.uk.
And the best part, you'll be supporting English heritage.
As it's your final chance
to win this heritage house in Bath.
Within easy reach of London, worth over £4 million. And the cash, you must enter by midnight tonight at omaze.co.uk.
Make summer unstoppable with EE's ultra-fast full fibre for just $28.99 a month and nothing to pay up front. Now with Wi-Fi 7, so the whole family can stream, game and work better than ever. And EE will even give you credit to switch. Offer ends 6th of August.
Right then! Who's up, lads?
Unexpected expense. Drafty's got your back. Borrowing £100 for a month costs less than £6. Apply at drafty.co.uk.
Be a good girl now. You're my special girl.
You don't say a word to anyone. This is our secret. 1 in 20 children in the UK has been sexually abused. It's appalling, but it's real. For many children, contacting NSPCC's Childline is the first step to ending sexual abuse. But we need your help to answer their calls, today and every day. Please call 0800 652 0181, text child3 to 84988, or go online to donate £3 a month to the NSPCC, because real children need real protection.
All behavior you willfully engage in has consequences.
People start to wonder, if I walk out the door of my house, is somebody going to be out there waiting for me?
Some are good, some are bad.
Looks like a body that's burning.
But we, the homicide detectives of the world, are the consequences.
Is that how you left your family?
And we're going to crush you.
Your call. You're involved.
Sheriff's office, come to the door.
American Detective with Lieutenant Joe Kender starts Wednesday the 5th of August on ID.
Johnny Vegas is back.
We are back.
And this season, he's got a sharper eye for the weird and wonderful.
Ready?
Shoot tight.
A keener ear for quality.
No, don't grab me by the neck and stretch the leather. I'll stretch your leather in a minute.
And an even stronger taste for vintage treasures.
Be real.
When did common sense get in the way of just going buck wild?
Johnny Vegas's Little Shop of Antiques. Tuesday at 9 on Quest, or stream previous series on Discovery Plus.
With big infrastructure, every calculation is vital. Get one wrong, and the whole thing can grind to a halt. Like this highway holdup in Iowa on a major safety project.
The number of crashes at this location were more than double the statewide average.
Mistakes that stopped construction in its tracks.
You're going to have, jackhammer off the top of the concrete pier.
This fail had drivers asking what had happened. America. Few things have shaped the nation as much as the automobile. It's now home to more than 250 million vehicles. Todd Wessel is a travel journalist.
Americans love their cars, and they love the open roads. They love the wide open spaces. They love to go out west and go into the mountains, and it's all part of being an American.
At more than 6 million kilometers, America has the biggest and longest road network on the planet. It's also home to some of the world's longest highways.
US Route 30 is the third longest highway in the country and stretches nearly 5,000 kilometers from Oregon to New Jersey.
It was the first transcontinental road in the history of the United States. It was built in 1913, right at a time when cars were starting to become the preferred method of travel. Its importance is immeasurable for our country.
Like every major road on Earth, keeping Highway 30 maintained has been a constant battle.
US 30 from Marshalltown to Ogden is a 55-mile section of primary highway in Iowa that needs to be modernized.
Highway 30 originally passed through every small town along the route. In the 50s, as traffic volume increased, one major bottleneck was the town of Ames, Iowa. Luckily, road planners had come up with ways to ease the flow.
One key improvement in the late 1950s was the building of roads that went around towns instead of through, known as a bypass. Bigger roads, less traffic, faster journeys.
Faster flowing traffic needed faster flowing intersections, with no traffic lights or hard turns to stop vehicles in their tracks. Like this Cloverleaf interchange at Ames, connecting Highway 30 with the key north-south artery, I-35. Tony Gustafson is an engineer with the Iowa Department of Transportation.
A key thoroughfare for the whole country, Interstate 35, and especially in Iowa, it carries a tremendous amount of traffic to keep Iowa with goods and people flowing across the state.
Highway 30 and the I-35 are major transcontinental transportation links, with more than 40,000 vehicles using the Ames intersection every day. This is one seriously busy junction.
But 5 decades after construction, the old Cloverleaf design was struggling to cope with demand and had become a major accident hotspot.
Get that many vehicles mixing together at the same time, it's just the odds are more probable that you're going to have a type of collision between vehicles.
When built, the Cloverleaf smoothed the transition between highways, but to safely make the 270-degree loop, drivers had to slow down to about 40 kilometers an hour. With more and faster traffic, the clash between high and low-speed vehicles was a major concern.
The number of crashes at this location, just in the northbound direction, were approximately 25 to 30 crashes a year, which is more than double the statewide average.
Engineers desperately needed a safer way to handle traffic. In 2016, work began outside Ames on this new exit ramp and overpass, carrying vehicles from the northbound I-35 to westbound Highway 30.
We're looking south right now at the flyover, the south end of the flyover. Northbound I-35 traffic is going underneath the flyover. So again, you can see the bridge span.
The flyover consists of 8 two-lane bridge spans supported by 6 piers, creating a long, smooth curve from I-35 up and over the main roadways, allowing vehicles to switch freeways without significantly slowing down.
It's a beautiful bridge. We're proud of it. You can see they have some aesthetic features on the piers. A weathered steel beam kind of fits into the natural environment here in Iowa.
This $23 million safety solution was initially scheduled to open to traffic in 2018. But months before its completion, construction had to be put on hold. The problem lay within the 6 concrete piers that were designed to support the roadway.
When the piers were completed, 2 problems were spotted. First, the anchor bolts for the bridge decks were in the wrong position. Secondly, all 6 piers were too high. There's no way the decks would fit.
One of Iowa's largest and most expensive construction projects, designed to make a safer intersection, had ground to a halt. Officials said the issue most likely stemmed from the initial survey. Like many projects, it relied on Global Positioning System, or GPS.
Global positioning systems have been around for years. Invented by the US military, today GPS is everywhere. Our vehicles, our phones, and even on a watch.
Assistant Professor of Engineering Roy Sturgill explains, with the help of his student Jay.
And the first thing that Jay's going to do is set up the equipment for the base station over top of a known point.
At any given moment, the base station can detect its position in 3 dimensions, relative to satellites orbiting the Earth.
We have 2 GPS antennas. One we're going to use as the base station. The second we're going to use as the rover. This antenna will not only communicate with the GPS satellites, but will also be communicating with the base station. Everything's controlled by our data collector here. Once the system's calibrated, from there we can start collecting data.
The fixed base station plots the exact location of the rover, allowing engineers to accurately plan out any new structure. With the exit ramp, getting the shape right, both in gradient and curvature, was vital to safe, smooth operations.
The initial layout tells the rest of your contracting crew where bits and pieces and parts of the project are going to go in. So it's critically important that your survey work is as accurate as it can possibly be, because it sets the stage for the rest of your project.
Today, GPS is an essential tool for all big engineering projects. But like any technology, it's how it's used that matters.
So GPS surveying is something that looks really easy, and the equipment makes it feel very easy, but there's a lot of opportunities for things to go wrong.
It seems something did indeed go wrong when plotting out the new Ames exit ramp that resulted in the piers being too high.
With the pier heights being incorrect, the impacts that would have is that the vertical curvature, the horizontal curvature, and even the super elevation of that flyover would have been impacted by those varying heights.
This roadway was designed to make travel safer, but there was no way construction could continue.
Mistakes happen on every project. There's no perfect project. It's all in determining where those mistakes are and trying to figure out how to fix them.
Given the junction was an accident hotspot, engineers worked tirelessly to devise a solution to both problems.
Once you're dealing with in-place and cured concrete, you're left with no choice other than to chip off the tops of the pier to the point where you reach a sound point and then can reconstruct it without damaging anything else. So that is a very tedious process and does take time to do that appropriately.
The answer lay in brute force.
You're going to have, hydraulic or pneumatic hammers to come in there and jackhammer off the top of the concrete pier.
The solution might not have been elegant, but it was very simple.
When the piers were down to height, the concrete tops were re-poured, this time with the anchor bolts in the correct positions. The new ramp finally opened in 2019 with great success. Vehicle collisions at the junction have dropped significantly.
A bridge is going to be here for 100 years, we hope, and we're proud of the little extra time it took to build it. The citizens of Iowa and the DOT are very proud of.
And engineering lessons were learned along the way.
So in terms of lessons learned from this project, I think it is a good lesson to understand, the use of GPS technology, the use of importance of surveying.
Even with the most sophisticated technology around, mistakes still happen. Thankfully, the errors were found before it was too late, and traffic is flowing safely between the highways.
With proper foresight and modern engineering techniques, highways of today and tomorrow can be our best investment.
Right now at Wren, you can get up to 50% off selected quartz worktops. Wren, made for living.
Hi, check-in?
All passengers, last call for check-in. Check-in is now closed.
What a load of malarkey. We keep things simple, like 70 gigabytes for £9 on a SIM plan you can leave anytime. Search Smarty Mobile.
One dream house, 2 family cars, £100,000 tax-free cash.
This July, BOTB is giving away all 3, and you could win them all for just £1.
No more rent, a Porsche Cayenne and a Golf GTI. The total prize value is £1 million.
£1 could win you all that's behind us.
Time is running out. Enter by Friday at botb.com.
It feels good knowing that your future's in hand. Evlo can offer you a loan from £1,000 to £15,000. Get your conditional decision in minutes.
Discover the finest quality made to measure blinds, shutters and curtains at Blinds Direct. A huge selection of beautiful window dressings to suit every room. Handmade in the UK with a 5-year guarantee for your peace of mind. Order your free samples today and choose your perfect design. Exclusively online delivered direct to your door. Shop now for an extra 15% off selected products at Blinds Direct. Create your dream home with blindsdirect.co.uk.
Every time a wave dumped down on us, I honestly thought we were going to die.
When I hit the rocks and it knocked all the wind out of me, that's when panic set in.
I shouted, nobody helped me.
RNLI volunteers are on call 24 hours a day to rescue people in danger by the coast or at sea. But the RNLI is a charity and our crew members are volunteers. We can't save lives without you. Please donate £3 a month and help our crews to save everyone they can. And come home safely too. Search RNLI now.
Mum always thought of everyone before herself, to a fault.
Honestly, she'd give the dog the coat off her back rather than see him go cold. No surprises, she got a funeral plan sorted too. She'd figured out the whole thing so we didn't have to. It rained. Obviously, it's the UK, but of course, she had that colour too.
We're here in your community to guide, support, or simply talk things through. However you choose to say goodbye, we help you own it.
From 74 nations, we gather as one.
This is the performance of her lifetime.
United by sport.
In Egypt, a shipping catastrophe sends shockwaves around the globe.
Her size and her scale fundamentally changed what this event was going to be. This event was going to have worldwide implications.
In Pennsylvania, disaster strikes as a driver and his vehicle are swallowed whole.
Usually you'll see a tire or something that goes into a small hole. This actually encompassed the whole vehicle.
A devastating bridge collapse in Australia narrowly avoids tragedy.
It was an absolute miracle that people didn't lose their lives, so this is a huge story.
And in Louisiana, failure on a crucial crossing forces an urgent multi-million-dollar fix.
$30 million sounds like a lot of money, but compared to human life, you really just can't put a price tag on that.
With big builds, even the smallest mistake can be a huge disaster. From miscalculations to misunderstandings, some with deadly consequences. These catastrophes are every engineer's worst nightmare. Engineers are constantly pushing the limits in both design and scale. But if things go wrong, a catastrophe like the structure itself can be monumental. Like this disaster in Egypt, a crisis on a global scale.
A blockage that was holding up billions of dollars of trade every day.
A supersized ship runs aground and a race against time to find a solution.
The front of the ship is now trapped, buried in the sand.
They needed to get this ship moved, and fast.
And the world economy is brought to its knees.
She's so large, so big, that when she careened out of control, she effectively blocked 12% of the world's trade in one motion.
Egypt, an ancient land full of epic feats of engineering.
When you say Egypt, you might think of the ancient pyramids, the Sphinx, but it's also home to one of the most vital trade routes on Earth, the Suez Canal.
Linking the Red Sea with the Mediterranean, this maritime shortcut dividing the continents of Africa and Asia is a true engineering marvel. Completed in 1869, it took more than 10 years to build. Associate Professor of History, Dr. Salvatore Macogliano, explains.
The Suez Canal was a massive undertaking. You had to dig 120 miles, 190 kilometers worth of sand and dirt, and it actually conjured up images of the pharaoh building the pyramids. They're building a new pyramid, but this pyramid links together two oceans.
In its more than 150-year history, the canal has become one of the world's most vital shipping lanes.
Previous to the Suez Canal, you had to circle around Africa an additional 15,000 miles in some cases. And it was seen as the bridging of two worlds, something that had never been accomplished before. What the Suez Canal provided was a shortcut.
Today, around 12% of world trade navigates the narrow channel.
In 2020, nearly 19,000 ships transited the Suez, carrying more than 1 billion tons of cargo.
As trade grew, so did the ships, on a mammoth scale. Like this, the Ever Given.
The Ever Given is a giant among ships and can carry 20,000 containers.
It's known as Suez Max, the largest type of ship allowed through the canal.
Almost as big as the Empire State Building, these ships are pushing engineering to the very limit.
Ever Given is a quarter of a mile long, 200,000 tons. If you're standing on the lower deck and you look up at the container stack, you're seeing 24 8-foot containers stacked one on top of the other.
With such vast ships, navigating this narrow, shallow stretch of water is no cakewalk. Stephen Turnock is a professor of maritime fluid dynamics.
The Suez Canal, it's very narrow, there's not very much water between the bottom of the ship and the bottom of the canal. Sort of the flow underneath the ship is forced through faster than it would normally do, and that kind of sucks the ship down towards the canal bed.
Known as the squat effect, the faster the ship moves through the water, the greater the effect is on the vessel, and the deeper it's forced to sail in the already shallow canal.
Suddenly it matters a lot that you keep within quite narrow bounds, you don't deviate to the left or right by very much, and that makes it particularly challenging for mariners to navigate through and to maintain the course that you want to go through safely.
With only about 9 meters of clearance between the bottom of the ship and the canal bed, any deviation can be catastrophic. During the early morning of Tuesday, March the 23rd, 2021, the 400-meter Ever Given, en route to the Netherlands, was in a convoy of ships traveling north.
It was the 5th vessel in a 25-ship convoy heading up the Suez Canal from the Red Sea into the Mediterranean.
Loaded with 18,300 containers, as the ship approached the entrance to the canal, it encountered heavy winds and a sandstorm blowing from the west. Right from the outset, the ship was struggling to stay on course.
The vessel was never in the center of the canal. It actually maneuvered from bank to bank.
Moving side to side, getting really close on one side, close on the other side, having difficulty controlling its course.
It wasn't just weaving. The Ever Given was also accelerating.
It started to speed up, progressively getting faster and faster, sort of 7, 8, 9, 10 plus knots.
At 7:40 a.m., the 200,000-ton ship crashed head-on into the side of the canal, ploughing around 5 meters into the sandy bank. The Ever Given was stopped in its tracks.
And what the vessel essentially did was ram its bow into Asia. The stern kept swinging northward. It ran aground in Africa. She was traversing the canal at such a high rate of speed that when she careened out of control, she effectively blocked 12% of the world's trade in one motion.
The figures are staggering. It's estimated that the Ever Given was holding up 3.3 million tons of cargo an hour, or $6.7 million a minute.
With the Suez Canal completely blocked and ships and trade at a standstill, the entire planet was searching for answers.
On average, more than 50 ships a day navigate the Suez without incident, and crucially, without making headlines. So the big question was, why did this one get stuck?
Examining the ship's global tracking device revealed that something was wrong from the moment the ship entered the canal. Associate Professor of History Dr. Salvatore Mercogliano explains.
If you follow the track line of the vessel was never in the center of the canal. It seemed to have lost control. It actually maneuvered from bank to bank.
As the investigation began, early reports suggested high winds were to blame. Professor of Fluid Dynamics Stephen Turnock explains that even for a ship weighing over 200,000 tons, this can be a major problem.
With big container ships, they're sticking a long way up into the air. If the wind is strong, then you get quite large forces. A wind was coming from its stern. Naturally, that wants to turn the ship. Actually makes it more difficult to control.
Not only were huge forces acting on the Ever Given from above, they were also at play from below.
The vessel is so large that it doesn't have a lot of water underneath it, and it doesn't have a lot of water next to it along the banks. And that creates forces that act on the vessel.
As well as the squat effect pulling the ship deeper, it was now being dragged towards the sides too by another phenomenon known as the bank effect. As the ship moves closer to the bank, water squeezing between the two surfaces speeds up, pulling the stern towards the canal side, effectively turning the ship.
What we saw happen was Ever Given got extremely close to the west bank, and she had to turn right. And unfortunately, she turned so hard right that it put her into the east bank.
The bank effect was too much of a challenge. You get away from that side, but you then get in trouble on the other side.
While there's little doubt this played a part in the wreck, another question remained. With the initial ships in the convoy making it through, why did this one speed up in the canal?
The Ever Given was reported to be doing 13.5 knots, almost 25 kilometers per hour. That's more than 50% over the speed limit for this size of ship.
The pilots may have actually gone faster to try to get better control of the vessel. The faster you go, the more maneuverable your vessel is. Drive a car down a highway, it takes only a small turn of the wheel to change lanes when you're going fast. The problem was when something goes wrong at that speed, there's very little margin for error.
With the rescue operation demanding help from across the globe, Plan A was to try and pull the ship free. Easier said than done, as geotechnical engineer Professor David White demonstrates. Wet sand is hard to escape.
So in civil and maritime engineering, we use physical models of systems a lot. They're quick and easy to make, and we can just get a feel for the problem. Put it in a tank, got some sand representing the sandbank, and when it comes and hits the bank, it pushes into the bank, and the bow is buried. Dragging the ship backwards, which is maybe the first thought you might have, is very difficult because you've got the friction from that enormous weight resting on the front. If you do a quick calculation, maybe you're going to need 60 or 100 tugs to pull the ship back.
The Egyptians scrambled very quickly. They dispatched tugboats to the area and attempted to pull her off. The problem was Ever Given, being solidly aground on the bow and stern, posed too much of a challenge, and it wound up being that the Egyptians could not move the vessel at all.
With billions of dollars of cargo and more than 300 ships backed up on both sides, it was time to go to Plan B.
Twisting it around is easier. If you try to pull the stern of the ship to the side, then actually the force you need is less, maybe just a handful of tugs. And this was the strategy that they adopted.
With larger anchor tugs and a specialized suction dredger, salvage teams were finally making progress.
This specialist suction dredger could shift around 2,000 cubic meters of material every hour. That's almost enough sand and mud to fill an Olympic swimming pool.
So once it was stuck on the bank up here, the dredging here needed to remove the sand over at this side, in front of where the bow is going to push the sand out to allow it to then rotate.
Not only was this one of the most expensive delays in history, it was now also a race against time and the tide.
To free the Ever Given, they used all the resources at hand, even the moon. One thing that all mariners are aware of are tides. And in this case, a fortunate spring tide was happening at the end of the month.
Their best hope was on the Sunday, when water levels would be about half a metre higher than normal for just a few hours. That gave engineers a very real deadline to hit.
The combination of dredging and tugging with some help from the moon finally paid off. On Monday, March the 29th at 3:05 p.m, after 6 long days, the Ever Given was finally free. And while it may be some time before we know the full story behind this crisis, it firmly highlighted the world's reliance on these colossal containers.
We've experienced before hurricanes and disasters that temporarily shut down trade, but never before had we seen an accident shut down 12% of the world trade and all of a sudden impact the entire globe.
After dominating the world headlines for 6 days, finally, this cargo megaship, the length of 4 football fields, was dislodged from the banks and on its way again. Gone, but definitely not forgotten.
I have been taking major stock of my life.
Whitney is back with an all-new season.
It's really got me thinking about the bigger things that I want.
And big plans for the future.
I'm going to pursue artificial insemination.
Oh, you blink around here and you miss a lot.
My life could be turned upside down in a matter of moments.
My Big Fat Fabulous Life. A new episode every week. Stream now on Discovery Plus.
54,450 meters carved into the clouds. 3,333 kilometers unrolled beneath them. 184 riders. 21 stages.
This is cycling at its very best.
One champion.
Pure entertainment.
One yellow jersey.
Pure drama.
And only one place to watch it all. Tour de France. Exclusively live on TNT Sports.
There's this machine. You can undo the apocalypse.
We don't know what's out there.
Only one way to find out.
I can't stay in this universe! I'm bored!
We're good parents, Frankie.
Mom, he's not giving my bag back. I just turned off my phone for 15 minutes.
You turned off your phone.
I just needed a break.
But you're a mom.
The Middle starts Monday, 3rd of August on TLC.
You sure you want to be a truck driver, mate?
It's better than parking the with a blunt stick, isn't it?
It could be a walk in the park, or it could be a bloody nightmare.
Get back-to-back Outback.
If we don't find Opal, then nobody gets paid.
With our dual Aussie combo.
We got problems.
From fortune hunters...
That's a cracker!
...to heavy haulers.
It can make or break you.
But it's worth it in the end.
That's why I love this job.
I love this life.
2 rugged jobs.
That is what dreams are made of right there.
1 brutal Outback.
Everything will be all right.
Get stuck into double Outback Thursdays with Outback Opal Hunters and Outback Truckers. Thursday at 8 on Quest or stream on Discovery Plus.
Rhaenyra's coming.
We are exposing her as weak.
My enemies have been allowed to muster their strength.
Let me tell you a story. I've never seen anything like this case.
There's sinister people in this world. An old lady was digging up bodies.
Weird.
Everybody has dark secrets.
I can cure you from cancer.
Why was everybody getting sicker, not better?
Some pot, wood, murder for free facials.
My God. Nothing is as straightforward as it first seems.
Brand new The Curious Case Of starts Saturday at 10 on Quest Red. When this maestro's at work, it's music to their ears.
Gonna sell, let us sell, gonna sell.
Brand new Yorkshire Auction House starts Wednesday, 5th of August on Quest.
Johnny Vegas is back.
We are back.
And this season, he's got a sharper eye for the weird and wonderful.
You ready? She tight.
A keener ear for quality.
No, don't grab me by the neck and stretch the leather. I'll stretch your leather in a minute.
And an even stronger taste for vintage treasures.
Be real.
When did common sense get in the way of just going but wow?
Johnny Vegas's Little Shop of Antiques. Tuesday at 9 on Quest or stream previous series on Discovery Plus.
This is my life. This is who I am.
I just do what I do.
I have just been living and living fun and living hard.
I just do what I do. You see me? I just do what I do. I just do what I do.
Come and get me, boy.
I just do what I do. Check. Let me flip this script. I feel privileged for all who can witness this.
I've been struggling with trying to get this water out of this plastic. I ain't had to struggle this hard since the night I lost my virginity.
I just do what I do. You gotta keep you on your toes.
I don't have any toes.
See me? I just do what I do. I don't know about you. I just do what I do.
Brand new, One Day in My Body. Wednesday from 9 on TLC or stream on Discovery Plus.
From the tallest towers to our vast sprawling cities, engineers build to last. But there's no escaping the ravages of time. Like this disaster in Pennsylvania that struck without warning.
All of a sudden, the road opened up and swallowed his SUV.
A massive sinkhole in the middle of a suburban street.
Usually you'll see a tire or something that goes into a small hole. This actually encompassed the whole vehicle.
Leaving residents wondering, how did this neighborhood nightmare happen? Easton, a small city in Pennsylvania, owes its existence to the ground on which it sits. Brittany Sweeney is a local journalist.
Easton is a little town. It's really rich in natural resources like limestone, slate, and iron ore. The other great thing about Easton is it's located in a region that has a lot of highways, so it's easy to get products in and out of this area.
The city might be looking to the future, but it can't escape the past beneath its feet, which is far from solid. Geotechnical engineer Ward McMasters explains.
Easton is part of one of the limestone belts that basically run across Pennsylvania and then dip down into Maryland, known for sinkholes characterized by the limestone bedrock below. Limestone, just because of its geologic characteristics, is going to have fractures and cross fractures, and also what you're going to have is voids within the bedrock system.
Because the more people you have, the more water gets used, which dissolves more limestone.
When we exacerbate it by having larger developments, concentration of people piping below the ground surface, we cause increased levels of sinkholes.
Water dissolves the limestone, forming fractures and voids which grow into caves. As the roof gets thinner and collapses, the soil above is washed away, creating a sinkhole.
The ground can be riddled with holes, but from the street level, you'd have no idea. If you then build a city above them in time, it can be a recipe for trouble.
Monday, December the 30th, 2019, on a suburban street in Easton.
This is a quiet neighborhood where not a lot happens.
As residents were going about their daily business, all that was about to change.
From the footage, this looks like a regular rainy day on a regular street. Then, the SUV kind of bumps and drops into a hole. It's surreal.
Journalist Brittany Sweeney knew this big hole was big news.
Not a lot of people traveling through. It's not like it's a busy road, so the fact that a sinkhole would open up and just driving down the road and then all of a sudden your car gets swallowed by a sinkhole, that is an insane thought for a neighborhood like this.
It was more than that. A young girl was watching from her bedroom window.
I couldn't believe it that it was my dad's car. So I rushed downstairs. My mom was in a panic.
Her father was trapped. Easton Fire Chief Henry Hennings was on duty at the time.
When I pulled up to the intersection, I saw the front end of the SUV sticking up in the air, and the original sinkhole opened up right about this area here, and it was pretty large. It was probably 40 foot in diameter and at least as deep.
The hole was filling with water, with the driver fearing for his life.
And I see a lot of water is going through. That's time I'm scared, you know. So I'm going to die right now.
Luckily, both the driver and passenger scrambled to safety.
It was a relief that it was a recovery and not a rescue. We didn't have anyone hurt, which is always fortunate.
But the danger wasn't over just yet.
Once the sinkhole opens, there's no way of knowing where it's going to go or any way to stop it.
Pretty much every built structure has foundations. And if the foundations have been washed away under part of the road, there's a risk the same is happening elsewhere, even under the buildings nearby.
When you have a sinkhole in a residential neighborhood, any of the housing in the area is at risk.
Houses on both sides of the street were evacuated, and more was to come.
That first